a shoe was found floating near the surface of a forgotten pond in Georgia. It seemed meaningless until someone remembered a couple who vanished without a trace 44 years ago. That mystery began in 1997. David and Rachel Whitaker vanished without a trace during a routine trip. 44 years later, a submerged car in Georgia holds the key to this decades-old mystery. I never went a day without worrying or thinking about if they had a terrible ending to their life. Christine Heller Seaman, 60 of Burlington, said about her grandmother, Catherine Whitaker, who was married to David Whitaker. For years and years, we didn't hear anything. It's something that you held with you every single day of your life. If they were tortured or harmed, she said, how did a couple disappear so completely? And why did it take over 4 decades to uncover the truth? This discovery not only solves a cold case, but also challenges our understanding of long-standing disappearances. David Whitaker was 73 years old. His wife Catherine Rohr was 75. They lived in Scarsdale, a quiet, affluent suburb in Westchester County, Vermont. To the outside world, they looked like any ordinary retired couple. Calm, composed, and ready to enjoy the slower pace of life. But behind the simplicity of their lives was a story that would remain buried for more than 4 decades. David had spent most of his working years in the oil industry. He was a retired executive known for being precise, thoughtful, and well-organized. Friends described him as sharp, reliable, and deeply committed to his wife. Rachel, equally poised, was known for her grace and warm personality. Together, the Rohrs had built a quiet life filled with structure and routine. They weren't the kind of couple you'd expect to vanish. They were stable, grounded, not the type to take risks or go off the grid. So, when the two decided to take a road trip down south in April 1997, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. They wanted to visit family in Florida and make a few peaceful stops along the way. But after they left, no one ever heard from them again. And just like that, David and Rachel Rohr became a mystery no one could solve. It was April 1997. David and Rachel Rohr were on their way back home after a vacation in Miami Beach, Florida. They were traveling by car, a 1978 Lincoln Continental, and had been on the road for several days, enjoying their drive up the East Coast. As they moved through Georgia, they decided to spend the night in Brunswick, a small coastal city located just off Interstate 95. They checked into a Holiday Inn near the highway, a routine stop, just another break on a long journey home. The hotel had a record of their check-in. But what happened after that has puzzled authorities for more than 4 decades. The next morning, hotel staff noticed something strange. The bed in the ROR's room had not been slept in, and they failed to check out. Concerns arose. Their personal belongings, including luggage and financial documents, were found untouched in their room. Concerned by the eerie scene, the hotel notified authorities and a missing persons report was filed. The case quickly caught the attention of local police. It wasn't common for a well-off middle-aged couple to disappear in the middle of a vacation without any indication of trouble. Search efforts began almost immediately. Police retraced the ROR steps from Miami through Georgia. They canvassed the area around Brunswick, checked nearby roads and bodies of water, and interviewed hotel staff and potential witnesses. But there were no leads, no evidence of foul play, and no sign of the couple or their car. Their family back in Vermont was devastated. David and Rachel were well known in their community. He was a respected businessman, and she was active in local charities. The couple had no known enemies, no financial problems, and no reason to vanish. Yet, they had simply disappeared. Local police began investigating the disappearance. The parking lot was searched, nearby roads were examined, and investigators checked in with nearby hospitals and law enforcement agencies, but there was no sign of the couple or their car. The 1978 Lincoln Continental had vanished just as completely as its owners. At one point, authorities even searched a pond located behind the hotel, but they found nothing. In the early 1997s, the technology available for underwater searches was limited. Murky waters and deep sediment made it nearly impossible to conduct a thorough scan. Still, it remained one of the many unanswered questions. How could both the couple and their full-size car disappear without a single clue? The case drew attention, but without leads, tips eventually stopped coming in. Over the years, the FBI and local police periodically reviewed the case, hoping new technology or witness statements might bring it back to life. But as decades passed, the trail only grew colder. As weeks turned into months and months into years, the ROR's case went cold. There were no sightings, no communications, and no new information. It was as if they had driven off into the night and vanished from the face of the earth. By the end of 1997, the investigation had reached a dead end. With no physical evidence and no crime scene, police were left with only questions. The disappearance of David and Rachel Whitaker became one of Georgia's most haunting mysteries, a puzzle that remained unsolved for the next 44 years. But no one suspected the real truth had been resting in plain sight. It was November 2024 when a search and recovery team from Florida made an unexpected discovery. Using sonar technology during an exploration in Brunswick, Georgia, they detected something unusual beneath the surface of a murky pond near Interstate 95. At first glance, it looked like just another car, one of many lost to floods or accidents. But as they drew closer, the shape and size sparked interest. The sonar image showed a long, wide-bodied vehicle consistent with an older model. When divers moved in for a better look, they found a car that had clearly been underwater for decades. The team alerted authorities and soon law enforcement was on site. When the vehicle was partially lifted from the water, officers confirmed what the team had suspected. It was a Lincoln Continental, manufactured in the late 1970s. The license plate, though rusted and barely legible, was still intact enough to trace. That trace led to something chilling. The vehicle was registered to David and Rachel Rohr. As the vehicle emerged from the muddy water, investigators were struck by how intact it remained despite the passage of time. Inside the car, they made a grim discovery. Human skeletal remains were found along with decayed personal items believed to belong to the RORs. The recovery triggered a formal investigation. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation and the Glenn County Police Department joined the effort to gather evidence and confirm the identity of the remains. It was the first real piece of evidence in a mystery that had lasted for decades. And suddenly, it all started to make sense. The Rohrs hadn't been kidnapped. They hadn't run away. They hadn't simply disappeared. They had likely crashed into the pond on their drive and were never found until now. The discovery was quiet. There were no dramatic chase scenes or drawn-out investigations. Just a sonar team doing what they've done countless times, searching for waters. But this time, they pulled up more than just a car. They pulled up answers. After 44 years, the mystery of David and Rachel Rohr was beginning to unravel. Not with a confession, not with a suspect, but with a car, a pond, and a discovery that was 4 decades overdue. News of the discovery spread quickly. After 44 years, the question of what happened to David and Rachel Rohr had finally found a partial answer. For decades, their fate had remained one of Vermont's most puzzling, unsolved mysteries. Now, a pond just off the highway, close to where they were last seen, held the truth all along. But the discovery also raised new questions. How did the vehicle end up in that pond? Was it an accident or something more sinister? The answers were still unclear. What was certain, though, was that a decades-old disappearance had taken a major turn, and all it took was the right technology and time. The discovery of David and Rachel Rohr's remains brought a powerful wave of emotions to their family. After more than 4 decades of not knowing what happened to their loved ones, the ROR family finally received some answers. But the relief came wrapped in sorrow. For years, the family lived with uncertainty and unanswered questions. They held on a hope, never giving up on the possibility that David and Rachel might still be found. When the Glenn County Police announced the recovery of submerged vehicle in a remote pond in Georgia, the family was both anxious and hopeful. Upon confirmation that the remains belonged to David and Rachel Rohr, the family expressed how deeply emotional the moment was. They spoke of the bittersweet nature of closure finally having the truth, but also facing the reality of the couple's fate after so many years. The rumors openly thanked the teams involved in the investigation. The Glenn County Police and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation worked tirelessly to bring clarity to the decades-old disappearance. Special mention was given to the sonar experts who located the car hidden underwater. A breakthrough that changed the course of this cold case. The family acknowledged that without the persistence and collaboration of these law enforcement agencies, the discovery would not have been possible. They praised the professionalism and dedication of everyone involved, highlighting that the decades-long wait was finally over because of their hard work. While the discovery marked the end of a painful chapter, the family also emphasized the lasting impact the case had on their lives. The 44 years of silence and uncertainty left scars that would never fully heal. But now they could finally begin to mourn properly and remember David and Rachel as they truly were. In statements released to the press, family members reflected on the importance of never giving up hope in missing persons cases. Their story serves as a reminder that even after many years, answers can come. And when they do, they bring both grief and peace. Ultimately, the Rohr family expressed gratitude that the truth was finally out. Though the loss is heavy, they take comfort in knowing that David and Rachel's story will no longer be forgotten. For more than 40 years, the Rohr family believed something terrible had happened to David and Rachel. They thought the couple was murdered during their camping trip in 1997. But after the discovery of their submerged car in Georgia in 2024, the family started to consider that maybe the truth was different. Maybe it wasn't a crime at all. This new possibility opened the door to reevaluating the case from a fresh perspective. With no signs of a violent struggle and the car found underwater, accident theories gained new attention. Alongside the family's changed view, many members of the public and true crime followers have proposed several possible explanations over the years to try and explain the mysterious disappearance. Theory 1. The accident theory. Imagine the scene back in 1997. David and Rachel, an ordinary couple on what should have been a peaceful camping trip, driving along a rural road or narrow path. The roads near camping sites are often unpaved, winding through dense forests and uneven terrain. It's easy to imagine how under the cover of darkness or in bad weather, their vehicle might have slipped off the road. The car could have rolled down an embankment, tipping into a pond or small lake hidden among the trees. Once submerged, it would have been nearly impossible to spot without modern technology. Rescue teams at the time had limited tools. Without any visible signs of the accident or a clear trail, search efforts would have struggled to locate the couple. This theory explains why no bodies or belongings were found during initial searches. The water and mud would have concealed the car and its passengers. The area's remote nature only added to the challenge. Access was limited, and technology like sonar imaging wasn't widely used for missing persons investigations back then. The accident theory also fits with the silence surrounding the case for so long. There were no ransom notes, no witnesses reporting suspicious activity. It was simply a case of a vehicle and its occupants lost in a difficult natural environment. Though heartbreaking, this explanation brings a certain clarity. It's a reminder of how fragile life can be, especially in isolated places where a single mistake or unfortunate moment can have lasting consequences. For the ROR family, the accident theory is bittersweet. It offers the hope of closure and understanding after decades of unanswered questions. It suggests that David and Rachel's disappearance was not the result of violence or malice, but a tragic event no one could have predicted. This new perspective allows the family to finally honor their memory with peace, knowing what likely happened to their loved ones, even after all these years. Theory 2, vehicle malfunction or mechanical failure theory. One of the most logical explanations for the disappearance of David and Rachel Rohr centers around the possibility of a vehicle malfunction or mechanical failure. That mystery began in 1997. Cars did not have the advanced safety features and technologies we rely on today, such as electronic stability control, anti-lock brakes, or automatic emergency braking systems. This meant that mechanical problems could easily lead to dangerous situations. This loss of control could have caused the car to veer off the road and into a nearby pond or water body, where the vehicle was eventually found submerged decades later without modern safety restraints or airbags. An accident like this could have resulted in injuries or made it impossible for the couple to escape quickly. In such a situation, David and Rachel might have been trapped inside the vehicle, unable to call for help or free themselves from the water. This theory fits the facts known about the case. The submerged car discovery decades later strongly suggests an accident, and mechanical failure could explain how the couple's routine camping trip turned into a tragedy. While there is no conclusive evidence that this is exactly what happened, vehicle malfunction remains a realistic and plausible cause for the disappearance of David and Rachel Whitaker. Theory 3, medical emergency. One very realistic theory is that David or Rachel Rohr experienced a sudden medical emergency during their trip. This could have been anything: a heart attack, stroke, severe allergic reaction, or even something like dehydration or heat stroke. Any of these could strike without warning, especially in an outdoor environment where physical exertion and exposure to the elements take a toll. If one of them had a medical emergency, the other person might have tried to assist or seek help. With no cell phones or modern communication devices in 1997, calling for emergency services would have been impossible. Furthermore, medical emergencies are a known cause in many missing person cases involving outdoor trips, especially with older individuals or those with undiagnosed health issues. Even someone in good health can suffer an unexpected crisis. While we may never know the exact circumstances, this theory offers a logical and compassionate explanation for their disappearance. It reminds us of how fragile life can be. This case marks an important moment in cold case investigations. The use of advanced sonar technology was crucial. Sonar, which sends sound waves underwater and maps objects on the lake bed, uncovered the ROR's vehicle hidden beneath decades of silt and water. Without this technology, it's likely the couple's fate would have remained a mystery forever. The success of this search demonstrates how technological advancements can transform how law enforcement approaches long unsolved disappearances. It opens the door for revisiting other cold cases where physical evidence might be underwater or buried in inaccessible locations. Sonar and other remote sensing technologies can reveal crucial clues that traditional search methods often miss. More agencies are now considering such technologies when investigating missing person cases, especially when water bodies are involved. The ROR case is a reminder that even after many years, there is still hope for answers. It underscores the importance of persistence, patience, and innovation in criminal investigations. This story shows us that even after many years, it is possible to find answers. It also highlights the crucial role that new tools like sonar and other underwater scanning methods play in uncovering evidence that would have been impossible to detect with traditional search methods. As technology continues to evolve, more cold cases may be solved, offering hope to families still waiting for answers and justice. The ROR's case is proof that time doesn't have to mean the end of the search. Now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the role of technology in solving decades-old mysteries? Do you believe that more resources should be dedicated to reopening cold cases with these new tools? And what are your personal theories about what happened to David and Rachel Rohr during that fateful camping trip in 1997? Share your opinions, ideas, and questions in the comments below. Your insights could spark new discussions and maybe even help bring attention to other unsolved cases. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more detailed true crime investigations and updates on cold case breakthroughs. Thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the truth is just waiting to be discovered, no matter how much time has passed. If this story moved you, please like the video and subscribe for more true crime and real-life survival stories.